Hello and welcome back to our NUEL North versus South tournament. This is so exciting. Currently 1-0 to the North. Welcome back to my co-caster Sodit.
Hello everyone.
So far, as I said, if you're just joining us, it is 1-0 to the North. We've had our second division game. We're now onto our open division game, and we will be beginning our champion select anytime soon. Sodic, catch us up on what kind of happened last game. How did it go?
Well, in the last game, it was exceedingly upsetting to see the North game kind of snatch victory from kind of the grasp of the South team, who were pretty much in the game up until about the 35 minute mark, where North team, Nyon, who was playing on Vayne in the AD carry role, he had so many kills on him. He had been so fed. He just managed to kind of steamroll. He could 1v1 anyone in the South team. They took one inhibitor. They took a second inhibitor. Then after there was a final kind of 5v5 team fight, which the South team just couldn't contest, and it was game over from there, finishing pretty much spot on the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, and it was a very, very good game. Like you said, the Vayne really doing well, and just sort of managing to snowball that victory. But we are going to head straight into game 2. It is the second division North versus South teams. If I can work out how to get onto the picks and ban screen, there we go. And we're heading straight into it. And the first ban, just like last game, is going to be casted in.
Yep, and followed by a Jax. A Nasus, which I think is a really interesting ban considering how effective it was last game for the North team. Although it is the North team that has decided to ban it out this game. We have North team, which is on blue side, and the South team, which is on purple side. And so all of the North team bans are Kassadin, Nasus and Udyr, and the South team have banned out Jax, Dr. Mundo and Shyvana. So pretty much kind of the top lane has been completely decimated in kind of the terms of choices that are left now, and the North team insta-lock in Thresh straight away.
Ooh, we are seeing a hover on the Teemo, so anyone playing our drinking game, get your shot glasses ready. I doubt we'll be seeing that locked in though. We do have a Riven as well though, but however, it could be Teemo top and Riven mid, so we'll have to see what happens. Or according to the summoner spells, it could even be Teemo jungle, but I don't think that is very likely. Teemo actually a surprisingly strong top laner. I mean, a lot of people consider him a troll pick, and everyone, I mean, there's all the comics and memes about Teemo. However, while he doesn't necessarily fit the meta too well, he is a viable top laner. I mean, he's one of the few laners that really doesn't have any particular hard counters. However, it's going to be swapped out. We're going to see the Volibear jungle though, which I talked about in the pre-analysis. And he is going to be locked in, so we're going to see a Volibear jungle, which I'm very excited about.
I'm also really glad to see that Annie locked in as well. Ever since kind of the 3.14 patch came in a couple of weeks ago, Annie being exceptionally viable, gets that AP kind of gold item right at the very start, hits level 6, and she'll just start stunning you with those tibbers all day long that can cause so much devastation in the team fight.
Yeah, we did see Teemo hovered on again by the enemy team, but are going to pick the Zac in the end. Zac jungle, possibly, or Zac top. I feel like Zac top, slightly better than jungle currently, but obviously very strong champion in both roles. One of those champions that's so versatile and really kind of viable in both of those roles. I mean, you see...
Well, I mean, it is Jalanator 337 who has decided to lock in that Zac, and he is North team's jungler, and he does play Zac a fair amount. It is kind of his third most popular champion in the jungle, being Zac, so it could well be a Zac jungle. I mean, with his slingshots, he can gank from such a long way away, and with the changes to kind of vision and stuff in the two most recent patches, so there is usually less vision on the map. I think that could be an interesting pick in jungle.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really interested to see that South team lock in Civ. She has received a bit of a nerf in the 3.15 patch, and Olaf being locked in as well. I think he fell out of favour a couple months ago and then I think the last couple of weeks he's been picked up a lot, even on the pro scene.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Olaf being so strong. I mean, who can deal with true damage? No one. There is no counter to true damage. So champions like Olaf, Vayne, they're the kind of champions that really, they're always at least a bit viable just because they have that true damage. And Olaf, because now the rest of his kit is sort of much stronger as well now, he is definitely very strong in the current meta. And obviously, with the axes, he's so hard to deal with because he's one of those champions that if he can get tanky and build one damage item, there's really not a lot you can do to stop him diving your AD carry. I mean, all Caitlyn has is a net to try and stop him, and obviously traps as well. But with his ultimate, he can just chase all day, and really Caitlyn's not going to be able to do anything about it. And if he can get the slows down with the axes, then she's really in a bad situation.
I'm really. I mean, when we see North team locking in Renekton there, that means it's certainly going to be a Zac in the jungle. But seeing the Kayle locked in for mid lane, that is a really interesting pick. I think there are a number of people who have been known to go kind of straight through from like gold 1 all the way up to diamond, just playing Kayle in any role. And I think Kayle is still it is a viable mid lane. It's a bit unorthodox, and many people aren't used to playing against Kayle in mid lane. And with that, with her ultimate as well, and you're saying kind of Caitlyn doesn't have that many escapes, especially against Olaf. Kayle throws that invincibility shield, what it effectively is, onto a Kate in a team fight. Kate's going to be able to pump out so much damage in late game, before she gets down, and so it doesn't really matter if anyone is able to dive on her.
Yeah, very interesting pick to go against that Kayle in the mid lane. We're going to see a Ziggs. I don't think I've ever seen that matchup before. I mean, you rarely see Kayle picked up in the mid lane as a first pick for the mid lane. Like, you regularly see Kayle picked up against something like a Zed because you completely counter his ultimate. However, you don't very often see it just straight up picked before the enemy picks their mid. And then to go against it, we're going to see a Ziggs. So very interesting.
I mean, you can kind of understand kind of the Ziggs obviously going to outrange, certainly kind of in the kind of mid and kind of early and mid part of the game. He should be able to get a much greater CS lead. He's going to be able to poke it down. But, with Kayle's ultimate, whenever Ziggs throws that Mega Inferno bomb, if Kayle's in a lane, no matter where she is, she'll be able to protect anyone with the lowest amount of health. And so, as long as Mini Macho's got his timing right and he's got some fast reactions, he's going to be able to save people from a lot of potential deaths.
Yeah. So, just for those of you who are just joining us, we will quickly go through the players that are on the two teams. I'll do the North if you would like to do the South, sod it. So, in this Open Division game, for our Northern team, we have in the top lane, Ashbeck Water. He's a Platinum 1. I'm on the right page. Okay, sorry. We have Ashbeck Water, Platinum 1 top laner. Regularly plays Jackson Wukong. We're going to be seeing him on Renekton though this game. For our jungler, we're going to see Jalinator 1337. He's a Gold 2 jungler, plays Udyr, Jax, and Zac, and we're going to see him playing his famous Zac, so we'll see how well he does. In the mid lane, we are going to see Mini Macho. He is a Gold 2 mid laner, plays Ziggs and Fizz, but he's going to be locking in that Kayle for this game, so we'll see how he does there. And for our AD carry, we're going to have Hargo. Here's a Gold 4 AD carry, likes to play Caitlyn, Ezreal, and Miss Fortune. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see his Miss Fortune this game, but Caitlyn, obviously a very solid pick. And if you're picking your AD carry before the opponent, then Caitlyn is definitely one of the safer ones to pick. And then for our support, we're going to see Tix. He is a Platinum 3 support, so the second highest player on the team, and he's mains Taric, Thresh, and Sona, so going to be going for that Thresh pick.
Yeah, and so on the South team, we have Terra121, who is going to be in the top lane. Usually plays kind of Jax or Leon top lane, but he's going to be playing Olaf, which we're saying is a strong pick in the current meta. That's not surprising. He's currently in Gold Division 1. In the jungle for the South team, we have Theo481, representing Jester's Knights, who's in Gold Division 2. He's going to be on Volley. Again, has recently fallen into favour in recent patches. Mid lane is going to be Grittic, representing Southampton Sapphires. Gold 1. It's going to be on the Ziggs. It'll be an interesting matchup, as we said, against that Kale. AD, we have Peter the Great, who is going to be on Sivir. Interesting pick for him. He doesn't necessarily play him that much. He's usually a Kate Lucian Vayne sort of player. I used to be his support when I was back on Cardiff C team, who he's representing. He's only ranked Silver 5, which he only got into this week, but don't hold that against him. He is a much more skillful player than Silver 5 kind of represents. And then finally, we have Xanagra, who is going to be on the support, who is going to be playing Annie. He was initially voted when we had our voting session of who's going to be playing for these super teams as Xanti, representing ACOG Rejects, but Xanti was just one of his Smurf accounts that he uses, where he's actually, while on Xanti he was kind of unranked, and his last match was 3 months ago. On his actual account, which he's playing now, he is Platinum 2, so he should be an exceptionally talented support lane, and as long as him and Peter the Great get along, I think the South team is going to have a slight advantage in the bottom lane.
Yeah, so we are going to be heading into the loading screen, and just touching on your friend Peter the Great is going to be that Silver 5 AD carry. His opponent is a Gold 4 AD carry, but in my experience in solo queue, the difference between Silver 5 and Gold 5 isn't actually that much to do with skill. I'd say it's much more to do with attitude towards the game. I've seen so many people in Silver 5 who, the reason that they're stuck down in Silver 5 is because of their attitude at the game. They like to flame their opponents, they blame everyone else for their losses. And yet I see a lot of people in, say, Silver 1 or Gold 5 who aren't necessarily very good at the game. However, they don't flame or they don't blame other people. They just kind of stay out of chat as much as they can. And if you do that, you can quite often climb elo just from your attitude alone. So don't overestimate the difference between those two players.
I completely agree with that analysis. Being Peter the Great's previous support on the Cardiff team, he can be frustrating to play with, but he is exceptionally good in the roles that he does. And as long as he gets a bit of lead, gets a bit of confidence, then I think he really could carry this South team. If he gets a bit too overconfident and overextends, then that could cause issues. But Sivir against a Caitlyn, usually Sivir is seen to be kind of better in that matchup. You have the spell shield; he's able to just walk over those traps and clear those out straight away, which is a huge advantage. Although in the 3.15 patch, which has only just come into effect in recent days, Sivir's spell shield, rather than lasting for 3 seconds, it's now been cut in half to 1.5 seconds, so that is a significant nerf. And I think Sivir's ultimate has also been nerfed, and I think her passive has been slightly tweaked as well. So she wasn't as strong in as strong as position if we held this match last week. But I think she still would fare better against a Caitlyn in lane.
Yeah, so I'm going to be very interested to see how this bot lane goes. By the looks of things, we are going to have that 2-1-1 setup that we do usually see. Not going to be looking to see any lane swaps just yet. However, if we do see an invade or something, that may change. But currently, looking like both teams are just kind of wanting to stay in their own jungle, just get a safe jungle start, pick up that first buff, and set off from there. I'll be interested to see how this bot lane does go. We do have a Sivir Annie. That is a very aggressive lane versus Caitlyn Thresh. Now, Caitlyn Thresh can be played kind of aggressively or passively. Obviously, Thresh gradually gets stronger the longer you lane because of the amount of souls he gets. He gets that bonus armor and he gets bonus ability power. However, Caitlyn also can be played aggressively or defensively. She's one of the best at just sort of AFK farming because of her incredible range. But also, if you can get that death sentence and a flay, and you can put the trap down while that's happening, and they get caught in the trap as well, that is a massive CC chain, and she can deal so much damage with a headshot, pilt over Peacemaker, auto attacks. You can definitely burst someone down, so I'll be interested to see how aggressive the Thresh and the Caitlyn go.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting, again, if you look at all the trinkets that have been bought, North team have all gone for those warding trinkets, and South team, it's support that's gone for the warding lens straight away.
Yeah, very interesting pickup actually. And I think I was talking to Shadow about this in a previous game. It was during the finals of our NUEL season. And it's this double ward trinket versus the ward trinket and the sweeper trinket. And it's almost the ward trinket, if you use them both in lane, kind of counters going one sweeper, because they'll be able to sweep one ward, but you can just immediately replace that with your other ward. So it almost counters it, but at the same time, if you use one of those in the tri-brush, then the sweeper can counter the double ward trinket. So it really completely depends how it's used, rather than down to which trinket you pick up.
Yeah, we can see on bot lane that South teams, Angora and Peter, they're certainly looking to be a bit aggressive. Annie's got that stun already charged up, and is just waiting for the right opportune moment to go in.
Olaf getting kind of bullied in this top lane so far. He's very, very low, already having to chug those health potions down. Renekton really showing his dominance in this top lane so far.
Yeah, I mean, Renekton does have, I think, a bit better sustain in lane, but yeah, it looks like Olaf's going to have a horrible time up top for a while, unless there is a gank coming in. But Volley isn't anywhere near that side of the map at the moment, so Terra's just going to have to defend himself, under the tower until help arrives.
Yeah, and Renekton, one of the
wow, Grittick's in trouble, rather.
Yeah, one of the strongest early game champions. And I do just really quickly need to change something on that. So if you could take over for a second.
Sure. We see kind of both the junglers. Oh, we see Volibear is roaming up top lane. So, and then we have a pause coming out.
Okay, I apologise. This is the open division game. I did have the second division overlay. That is completely my fault. I do apologise. And yeah, we do have a pause coming out, unfortunately. I guess someone has disconnected, but Volibear currently heading towards the top lane, so when we do get back in, be interested to see.
For a change, which is nice. It's Xanagra's mouse is messing up at the moment, so I think he's just plugging something in, and I think he is ready, so looks like we will be good to go in 8 seconds.
So, as I said, we've got Volibear heading up to this top lane, so it'll be interesting to see how this gank goes down for them. Olaf has initiated on him. Renekton does get flipped back. He does use his flash, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get away from this one. He does get under the tower, though, and he's going to be able to walk away narrowly. But that is flash down for Renekton. He doesn't have any health pots left, so we'll have to see if Olaf can capitalise on that.
Yeah, I think Olaf will now have to make the most of this. Volibear seems to be hanging around.
Yeah, definitely wanting to be aggressive, but not going to be able to keep on that. And Sivir and Annie really pushing very hard in this bot lane currently. Caitlyn, if she can pick up all these CS, she is going to be ever so slightly ahead, but the CS so close at this stage in the game. Ziggs and Kayle just trading away here in the mid lane. Neither of them really getting too far ahead though, but taking a look at the CS. But we do have a fight go down in the top lane. Olaf getting really low. The ignite goes down. Renekton going to go down for the first blood though, and Olaf going to be able to walk away on such low health. And Zach not having enough damage to finish him off, so really good there. And the ignite goes down onto Caitlyn. The barrier's down. The exhaust has to go down on Annie. I don't know if they're going to have enough damage to finish off the Caitlyn. It does flash for the incinerate. Caitlyn flashing after the incinerate goes down, and he is going to go down for the second kill of the game.
Yeah, that's brave play there by Xanagra. He knew exactly what he wanted to do there. Zach's passive has been popped here.
Is that getting knocked into his passive by Volibear? The smite goes down. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. Uses the slingshot just to knock Zach up, to knock Volibear up, and then flashes out. Very good play by Zach. Able to get away from that one, but currently not looking too good for the North. We are now 1,000 gold behind, and we're falling behind 15 CS in the mid lane, and a kill behind in the top lane, and a kill behind in the bot lane, so not very good so far.
Oh, and we have another pause coming out from the North team this time, and I think it is Hargrow who has had a DC. No, we're going straight back into the game, in fact.
Not sure what's going on with all of these pauses, but Zach having to back away from the white there. He's getting bullied by his own jungle creeps. Not going to have the sustain for that. Obviously, doesn't have the passive available for the jungling, so going to have to walk away. But Olaf taking a chunk of damage from the Renekton there. Renekton actually behind in lane, but still just being really aggressive. He does have the sort of minion advantage. If he can get Olaf to tank those minions, he definitely could win a fight. But Olaf going to be able to clear those out with those axes, so a hard one for Renekton to deal with.
Oh, good spell shoot there by Peter, completely nullifying the hook. Good timing and reactions.
Yeah, very good by Peter the Great there. So, actually, I've seen a couple of good uses of the spell shield so far. I've been picking up those traps as well. Do you have a little bit of an engage going down in the mid lane? Kale sort of losing that trade a bit. Ziggs managing to chuck another bomb in at the end there. Kale really needs to sort of try and burst Ziggs down if he can. He possibly needs a gank and needs to pull ahead of this Ziggs so that he can sort of out damage Ziggs. If he can't do more damage than Ziggs in a burst, then there's no way he can win the fight, because Ziggs has much more sustained poke as well as that burst. So he really does need to try and get a kill if he can. But obviously he's got 2 Doran's rings, 2 a Chalice and a Doran, so he's falling slightly behind already. So not looking good for Kale right now. He does need some help.
Kale does have the boots as well, so he has a bit more mobility to try and dodge those bombs. But at the moment, it looks like bottom lane certainly being won by the south, mid lane is certainly being won by the south, and top lane, I'd say it's slightly in advantage of the north. Renekton certainly does seem to look as if he could take Olaf 1v1 if he wanted to. And then the junglers, I think the junglers are fairly even, but I think Volibear is pumping out a little bit more damage at the moment because obviously he's scared.
Oh, and he goes in with the Tibbers, does manage to stun the Caitlyn. She is going to be able to caliber it out, but the damage from the boomerang blade on Sivir there, absolutely chunking Caitlyn. She is so low. The ricochet is going to be bouncing into her. Not quite going to be enough to kill her though. And Caitlyn, potting up, does have that Vamp Scepter as well. Caitlyn wanting to go aggressive on the Annie when the death sentence lands, but really not going to be able to because of that boomerang blade zoning her out.
Yeah, Caitlyn's really going to have to be careful here under lane. Zangra is feeling confident and had his flash up. He might... oh no, no, Caitlyn came up with a kind of managed to regen a bit too much health, but if Argo had stayed low, I could just see Zangra flashing over it. Ooh,
Zach in a really bad position. He doesn't have his passive up right here. He's slowed by the red buff, and Ziggs absolutely bursting him down there.
Yeah, I really don't know what Jelanator was doing there. He was completely caught out of position.
Yeah, I think when you're behind and you don't know where the enemy jungler is, trying to counter jungle is not necessarily the best course of action.
Yeah, these days when you have so many kind of a limited amount of wards you can place down, wards do mean wins when it comes down to close games.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got to be honest, it's not looking good so far. We are now 2,000 gold down, a much bigger lead than we saw at the start of the last game. But Olaf and Renekton both using their ultimates here. It's going to be a very close fight, and Renekton going to be picking up the kill in that fight. But in the meantime, there's a fight in the bot lane. Thresh picking up a kill onto Annie. Don't know if he's got this death sentence available for the Sivir now. And Zach going in the mid lane as well. The North are pulling out all the stops here. Ziggs picking up the kill on Kale though. Kale, unfortunately, not having his ultimate available, but Kale also able to pick up the kill on Ziggs. So it's a 1-for-1 in the mid lane, 1-for-0 in the bottom, 1-for-0 in the top. And that is a 2-killer trade, I guess, for the North team.
Yeah, that was well played by the North. They kind of managed to kind of attacking on, kind of putting pressure down on bot lane, putting pressure on middle lane, and then top lane. Yeah, that's saying just a minute or so earlier, it looked like Renekton could have 1v1'd Olaf, and he proved that point there and then.
Yeah, and Olaf and Renekton building almost symmetrically. Both have that giant belt, both have that chain armor. I thought Volibear was going to go aggressive on Zac again though. He is just going to go for that farm. But yeah, Renekton starting to pull a little bit ahead now of Olaf. I mean, in gold-wise, he is very, very even, actually. I'm surprised at how even that is, considering the 14 CS difference. But Ziggs not particularly doing the best mine there, but Kale may go down anyway. Oh, the very last second divine intervention. I don't know if Ziggs is going to be able to land his ultimate is on cooldown, I'm afraid. So Not going to be able to see any magical Ziggs ultimates to finish that off. And Olaf, not going to be able to go for that 1v1. But Zach, jumping in the mid lane, he's going to be defending this tower against the Ziggs and Volibear pushing. But Olaf, I feel starting to get a little bit bullied in this top lane now.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, the CS, it's about 13 CS difference, but
oh my goodness, Zach taking tons of damage there.
Volley is able to take so much turret damage there. This Ziggs is going to be like Vayne caused a problem last game for the opposition team. I think Ziggs is going to cause a real problem. I mean, look at his CS; it's 100 compared to Kale's 52. He's doubled it, and that's a huge doubling as well. 100 CS, 12 minutes in. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is a really a really bad situation for the North, unfortunately. Kale not doing too hot, but Renekton hopefully will be able to carry his team to victory. He is sort of bullying Olaf in the top lane. He's just saying, no, you're not allowed to CS here. I'm just going to force you out of lane. And Olaf just going to have to hide under his tower right now. However, in the bot lane, so even between Caitlyn and Sivir, both on 1 CS, both 1 assist, sorry, and both on around 80 CS as well, so very close. Caitlyn, however, has built that BF sword compared to Sivir's pickaxe and Vamp Scepter, so Sivir going to be having more attack speed because of those boots. However, Caitlyn going to be having more physical damage, so if she can get that sort of EQR combo off and Sivir can't spell shield it, then possibly be able to burst one of them down and actually get a kill.
What do you think Sivir's going to be building that pickaxe into as a first main item? Do you think she's going to...
I think there's two sort of possibilities. Either she's going for the Legolas build, where she builds the Bloodthirster and the Last Whisper, or one thing, this is something I saw in a Reddit post by a Challenger AD carry. He said whenever he goes back and he can't afford his BF sword, he doesn't want to just build boots for, or he doesn't want to just get loads of Doran's blades, he'll build a pickaxe, because there is no AD carry build where you don't build a pickaxe at all. So yeah, even if it slows down your first item, you have that extra AD damage in the early game, and you don't fall behind in lane from building those Doran's blades. So you're still building towards your final goal, so you're not slowing down your late game, but you are sort of, you're still gaining that AD for the lane.
Yeah, I mean with Petra as well, I know personally when I've played with him when he's been on Lucian, he'll just build pure attack speed items, won't build any AD. He has some really unconventional builds as an AD carry, so he might end up building something really weird first on that Sivir, but I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it looks like South are going to be going for Dragon, and I don't think this is going to be contested.
Yeah, and currently
down, but they're not going to be enough to try and scare off South team.
Yeah, and Volibear really making use of his passive there, just able to pretty much play the Mundo role last game. Mundo tanking the Baron last game, Volibear able to just completely tank the Dragon and not really taking the damage because of that passive. So really well played by the South team, and North not having the vision required to stop that.
I feel like South team is winning all of their lanes, and I think their jungler is strong at the moment, apart from they're not winning top lane. I think they're not wildly losing it at the moment, but
Sivir getting a really good spell shield there, but a really good combo by Caitlyn there. Gets the Piltover, gets the headshot, and gets the ultimate as well. Sivir having used the spell shield on the death sentence, so able to get that kill.
Was already locked on. Bit of a waste of a flash, but it's just one of those kind of those panic moments. Yeah, maybe if I flash it won't affect me.
Yeah,
you can't escape that Kate ultimate.
Unfortunately not. Actually, in the early patches, if you flashed it, did disjoint your character, so back in the day that would have worked. However, that was like pre-season 1, so not actually still doable, unfortunately. However, that is an extra kill for the Northern team. Woohoo! So the gold lead is only going to be 1.8k so far. However, is still in favor of the South, but it is still very close. However, Zach going for the gank in the mid lane. Ziggs not necessarily in the best situation. Zach going to be going for that ultimate under the tower. He does have his pass available. Mega Inferno Bomb goes down on Kale, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. I don't know if Kale's got the damage. He does. He flashes out of there. Will Zach be able to survive? I don't think he will. He is going to go down to the Ziggs. So, 1-for-1. Ziggs picking up the kill on Zach, but Kale picking up the kill on Ziggs. Oh no, Kale getting caught out. Tibbers goes down, Volibear picks up the kill. So I was going to say North possibly won that trade, but no. South picking up the extra kill, and
I think that was really good communication. South could see that Kale had hung around a bit too long. It gave Annie enough time to wander into mid lane, coming from bot. Oh, Renekton's been caught here.
Oh, Renekton, in a bad situation, does use his slice and dice, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. He does have his flash available, but doesn't really have any walls that he could use it on. His dominus does go up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And it looks like he is going to... Oh, he does flash! Slice and dice is up! He might be able to get away from this one. Volibear's going to go for the dive, though. Does get flipped, and he is going to go down. The Ignite goes down to try and stop the Volibear passive, but it's not going to be enough. And Volibear going to walk away.
Zach wasn't anywhere near to help. No, that was a good play there. He was Renekton was just, he thought he could back away inside South Team's jungle, but he wasn't really safe enough there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Renekton getting a little bit greedy there. Zach going in for the 1v1 versus Olaf, just dealing a ton of damage. I don't think he really wants to chase that though. Wouldn't have won that 1v1 if he kept going. Luckily, he did back up. Oh, he is still going. I really feel like Olaf's going to win this fight if Zach stays. He doesn't have that true damage. But Olaf actually going to back off from that one. I'm surprised Olaf didn't try and sort of chase that up. I mean, he had his ultimate available. He probably could have dived Zach because Zach didn't have his passive up either. So, but he's going to decide to back away.
If I were from the north at the moment and was supporting the north team, I'd be worried because that Zach isn't looking that effective. It certainly isn't having as bigger impact as that Volibear as we see here.
Definitely, and Zach getting caught out. He does the elastic slingshot, but the Ziggs getting the excellent satchel there, stopping him getting away. Now Volibear slowing the Kale. Kale does have his ultimate available, and Volibear now running away, but he's going to be able to just walk away because of that movement speed. Now we've got a fight in the bot lane. The Tibbers goes down. Caitlyn in a really bad spot. Does get the Piltover though, doing so much damage to the Sivir. And Caitlyn not looking to be in a good spot. The barrier goes down. Annie flashing in for the Incinerate. Oh my goodness. And South just started to snowball this lead now, unfortunately. 4,000 gold ahead, and North really...
much more than the previous
yeah.
Isn't looking good for the South, and they're going to try and steal blue.
Oh, and Kale manages to catch Ziggs out. The Satchel Charge does knock him back. Volibear's here to save the day though. Kale going too deep here, does use his ultimate, but not really blocking any damage with that. Not the best play. He's going to be able to pick up the kill on Ziggs, but Volibear picking up a kill. In fact, no, Ziggs got the kill anyway. So just...
That's certainly in South's favour. Yeah. Get the assist there as well, but the kill manages to go on to Grittic. On that Ziggs, who's he's 4-3 in Naught at the moment, so he's not massively ahead. I mean, Kale is 3-3-0, but you just feel like that Ziggs, where he's got that 40 CS lead, he's got the Negus large rod now, Athene's Unholy Grail, and blasting on it. It looks like he's building into Rabadon's as his second item. Yeah,
I really feel like right now the North needs to just back off and wait for the late game. I mean, Caitlyn is a super strong late game carry. Kale, really strong late game carry. Renekton kind of drops off a bit in the late game, but he's still a really good super tank, and obviously with his ultimate does do percentage damage, so really strong damage in the late game. And Zach also needs to get to that super tank stage.
I think if we were to look at, if this went into a 50-minute game, I think, you look at the lane matchups, Olaf I think will win in a late game matchup. I think Kale wins in the late game matchup against Ziggs, and I think bot lane, a Kate Thresh against an Annie Sivir, I think Kate slightly has the advantage there, even though Annie beats out Thresh, but Kate beats out Sivir. I think once the AD goes down, then you're screwed. And then it looks like we're going to have oh, Peter's been caught. Yeah, oh, Peter the Great getting an absolute drop there. He is going to survive though, walking away there. But Hargo now in a really bad spot. Actually, no, Annie not going to have enough damage, and Hargo picking up a kill there. So low, but the Mega Inferno Bomb going to be able to pick that kill up. And that is a 2-for-1 so far for the South. Volibear just jumping onto Zach. Zach not having his passive up is going to go down, and it looks like this is going to be a dragon for the South. I don't know what to say. I'm pretty disappointed the North not looking good this game. I think I'm going to cry. Jonathan, Zach, he's just not being that effective at the moment. I don't think there's that many people on the South team who are that afraid of him.
Yeah, I really feel like Zach just sort of getting caught out quite a lot, but the North not really doing so well on the teamwork front. I feel they're all doing well. Well, they're doing okay individually as players, but they're just not really working together as a team very well. I feel like
even if they start winning kind of a 1v1 fight in lane, the South team seem to have better communication, so that even if they do lose in a 1v1, one of their teammates will be able to roam up and kind of get the kill back sort of thing and even it up straight away.
Exactly,
so the
yeah.
North isn't able to gain any ground.
Yeah, and like, for example, this Kale keeps on going for these fights, but it's like 1v2 fights that he's going for, and he's able to get the kills, but he dies as well, and his team's not there to support him. But every time this Ziggs goes for a fight, his jungler's there, or his support's there, or his top laner's there. He's always got the support of his team when he goes for a fight, and this Kale doesn't seem to have that. So
yeah, I mean, you just see Hargo being stunned there. Now he's going to have to defend in this turret.
oh, and this turret is going to go down.
By the dragon. Caitlyn was attacking Peter the Great Sivir, and Caitlyn managed to get two critical hits in a row, and she only has a zeal built up, and I didn't look at her masteries page, but I imagine she probably hasn't built that many crit runes, so she was exceedingly lucky to get that massive amount of damage on Peter. So I think that fight could have even gone further in the South team's favour if they wanted to.
Yeah, and Volibear going for the 1v1 against Renekton here. I feel like Renekton probably would have won that fight had it continued, but he didn't have the ultimate up actually. So
I think South team might be caught out here. We saw the North were pinging in that triangle.
Yeah. So Renekton not in a good situation. However, neither the Flay though knocking Annie away, really not that good by Thresh. The death sentence is on cooldown, but the Shurelias is available. Sivir does use the ultimate. The spell shot goes down. The Tibbers to disengage. Kale able to pick up a mid tower, however, and no deaths around the map. So actually, as much as a fail it was down there, it's a tower for the North. So overall, a good trade for the North, really.
I mean,
but
when you consider that, it's Annie and Sivir who don't really have any true escape. We see mini matches.
Kale getting caught out. It's not very good.
He's gonna struggle.
Does he have the Mega Inferno Bomb? The Thresh Lantern though
But,
saves the day.
Both Sivir and Annie don't really have any real escape mechanisms. They were so deep in the opponent's side of the map, and they had a Thresh and a Zac and a Caitlyn who chase relatively effectively, and they still couldn't kind of get either one of them. So yeah, if I were Northern, I'd be worried. And
we do have a massive fight going down. Peter the Great getting absolutely dropped. The barrier goes down, but it's not enough. Tick's also getting really low, but he's able to... Oh, Ziggs picking up that kill. Mega Inferno Bomb landing on 3 people. Renekton getting really low, but the Divine Intervention going down. Zac now getting dropped into his passive. He is going to be able to survive, possibly. The Volibear ultimate, though, taking down those blobs so fast. Hargo now getting dropped. Ziggs doing so much damage to the entire team. Absolutely doing work for his team. Olaf tanking that ultimate on so little health. But Renekton going in onto this Ziggs, and he goes down. Ziggs not actually going to drop. So close. The Piltover did land on him, but it's not going to be enough. And that's another kill for the South team.
No, that was a nice bit of teamwork there. Olaf took the hit, because if no one got in the way of that, I think Theo 481 on volley would have gone down.
Annie with the flash tibbers onto Hargo. Zanogra just doing work here. I mean, that's like what I think that's at least the 3rd time that he's killed Caitlyn. So really well played by that Annie.
I think it's important to kind of note Annie's items. Okay, she went for the Sight Stone, get that support, has a No Man's Medallion, which is a bit of an interesting pick because of the, support Annie, usually you go for the
Spell Thief's Edge, yeah.
Shield. Yeah, you go for the Spellblade one. Got her Sorcerer's Shoes, that's expected. And the next, the first main item that she's got is a Deathfire Grasp, so she's just looking to just pop kind of anyone that gets in her face straight away.
Yeah, and also picking up that Blasting Wand and Sorcerer's Shoes as well, so really going for that aggressive support stance, and I can't disagree with her there. I mean, there's 2 ways you can play Annie's support. You can play it as a support, or you can play it as a secondary carry, and really, looking at the stats, the secondary carry route seems to be working pretty damn well.
We're looking at top lane here, and it seems that, 5-10 minutes ago, Olaf was a little bit afraid of Renekton. He couldn't 1v1 him. Whereas now, it seems that Renekton's a bit on the back foot, and he's not doing as much damage as Olaf is now.
Yeah, and I feel that that's partially down to that true damage that Olaf has. But now Olaf getting caught out does use his ultimate. He might be able to just walk away from this one. He does have the ultimate, has the ghost, going to be able to just throw those undertows back and
So
just
with
walk
3
away.
North in that top lane, it looks like the South team are going to make a push down mid.
Yeah, Volibear just tanking tower shots without his team following up there, but that is going to be a free tower for the South team. 3 people going up to try and get the Olaf, but he did have the ghost and the ultimate available, so just a free tower there for the South.
Yeah, this is certainly looking good for the South team. You've got Dragon coming up in 15 seconds time. I imagine, I mean, at the moment, kind of all of the North team, kind of 3 of their characters are, a tiny bit damaged. Oh, is it Jones?
Oh, Zac going in. He does use the ultimate. Ziggs getting absolutely burst. Thresh picking up that kill. Now Volibear's running away. Thresh going to be chasing that. I don't know if he's going to be able to land the death sentence or not. Don't think he's going to be near enough. But possibly going to be seeing a dragon attempt. Purple team starting dragon. I really don't think that's wise. It is a 5v4 right now. And I feel like this is going to be a free dragon for the Northern team. If the South goes in for this fight, I really feel like it's going to be sort of throwing that lead. They have Volibear getting caught out here. He's in a really bad situation. Does have to flash out there. Zac going for the elastic slingshot a little bit ahead of his team here. I don't know if that was wise. But the Kayle really starting to do this damage now. The divine intervention on Zac at the very last second, saving his life. The Annie now getting really low. Peter the Great using his ultimate. And it is a 2-for-1 so far in this re-engage. But the Caitlyn trap stopping the Sivir there. And
Zangri and stun was that Tibbers. That was a really well placed ulti there. But I mean, fair credit to Jalonator. He hasn't had that much impact on the game. I thought he might end up just being a bit, passive, but he's still not afraid to go in. He knew that his team was going to follow him up.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel up until that point, Zac really hadn't been doing much for his team, but in that fight, he got 2 really solid engages. So really well played to him to sort of get back in this game again. He has now got 2 items. He's got that Spirit of Visage, which is so crucial on Zac because it gives you that extra regen from your blobs. You get that, you get that extra sustain, and it is so necessary for Zac. And now he can start to build more health.
Yeah, I mean, after that team fight, they managed to get the dragon. North came out on top, so they've closed the gold lead a bit. It's under 5k gold now, and they're looking at around Baron. They're warding up. 29-minute mark now. We've just gone past.
Oh, my game is. Okay, there we go. So the Mega Infinite Bomb does just miss everyone there. Kayle managing to pick up the kill on Ziggs is really not good for the Southern team. Volibear getting absolutely destroyed by the enemy team, trying to bring down Hargo before he goes down. But that is a 2-for-0 for the Northern team, and they're pinging the Baron. I don't know if they're going to be able to go for this one. Kayle using that heal onto Caitlyn to give them movement speed and attack speed, and it looks like they are going to go for this mid tower instead.
Yeah, I think that some of them are a little bit too low, maybe.
Oh, Thresh going for the flash grab there, gets the flay down now. Peter the Great in a really bad situation, just get absolutely burst. The Annie goes down as well. This is possibly going to be the ace. No, Olaf is going to walk away, but this is definitely going to be a mid tower. Renekton happily tanking that for his team, and possibly going to go for the inhibitor tower. We'll have to see what they do. Yeah.
Volley's up in 1 second and Ziggs is already back. I think they're going to get this turret, but I don't think they're going to have inhibitor.
They're gonna. I feel like they need to back away here. Jalanator getting caught out here. He does have his passive up, but I really don't think he's going to be able to survive that. One of those gets smited. He is going to go down. However, 2 towers for 1 death. I really feel like they could have just walked away without dying, though. Like,
if I was South, I can imagine they might go for Baron now.
Yeah.
Thresher, and they know that they're low. They have to back. There's no way they can challenge a Baron now.
And also, the jungler for the Northern team is down. They can't. Yep, they cannot contest this. So there's no reason for the North team, for the South team, not to go down. But the Ziggs gets absolutely dropped. Kayle doing really well there, as well as the Caitlyn. And now Kayle using the divine intervention, but he is going to go down. Annie picking up that kill. Hargo in a really bad spot. He should have just backed away to begin with. But Olaf getting really low. I don't know if Caitlyn's going to be able to finish that off. It is warded, but Caitlyn just going to caliber net over this wall. He's trying to get away from the Volibear. He's just going to back in that bush, but they seem to be onto him. And Annie going for the flash. I don't know if he's going to be able to get in range for the incinerate. 4 seconds until Calibernet comes back up. The DFG goes down. The Tippers goes down. The incinerate goes down. And that's going to be another kill for the Annie. Just bullying this Caitlyn all game long.
That was it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, all kind of that whole kind of extended team fight started with Peter the Great being kind of caught with a death sentence by Thresh. But yeah, they aren't going for this Baron. I don't think they've got the damage though.
I don't know. It is currently sitting at just over half HP. I feel like they have the damage, but Renekton is coming in with the massive AoE damage, doing absolutely loads to everyone. Zach's arrived using his ultimate. Zach picking up 1 kill on Olaf so far, and the Southern team gonna have to back off. This may be a free Baron for the North. I don't know if they're going to be able to smite it. It's all going to be down to the smites here. And Volibear going to go down as well. That is no jungle for the North team. The Mega Inferno Bomb goes down there, and Ziggs able to pick up a kill and a Baron with that Mega Inferno Bomb. Zach not being able to get that smite down. And
Take a bow. That was a brilliant use of his ulti there.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I wish this Ziggs was on the Northern team. He's doing so much work for his team right now.
I mean, Ziggs has still got that 60 CS lead over Kayle. I mean, their stats are relatively similar. I think their item builds are relatively similar. If we look at the overall gold lead, it's only 4k advantage to the South team. I don't think it's as close a game as we had in our previous game.
Oh, we do have a 1v1 going on between Kayle and Ziggs here. Ziggs getting really caught out. The Zach's there to back him up as well. Ziggs gonna go down. The divine intervention from Kayle, able to save his life, and Zach being so tanky, taking loads of damage but just surviving anyway. And the Shurelya's popped by Thresh to get away. It's not actually called Shurelya's anymore, but I can't remember what it's called now.
Most people know.
Let's find out what that one's called. It is the Talisman of Ascension. You know, the new Shurelya's, but able to get that kill onto Ziggs and walk away, and that is so crucial because Ziggs is worth a lot of money because of the amount of kills he has. So really good play by the Northern team to stay in this game. And I mean, the gold lead is at 3,000 gold right now, but 33 minutes into the game, 3,000 gold's not a lot. I mean, last game the gold difference was actually quite similar to this, and I'm quite surprised because the South got a significant lead earlier this game.
Yeah, the North had. They were about 6k gold down at one point. And they're going for Dragon.
Yeah, just clearing out those pink wards, and really not anything South can do about that, and that is decreasing that gold lead even more.
Yeah, at the moment I think if they catch out Grittic on Ziggs, then they have a real good kind of chance in any team fight. Because Ziggs is the main person who's pumping out all the damage. But then, you know, if Annie lands a stun, Ziggs gets his Inferno Bomb, and they do have a fair amount of AoE damage there, where you compare it to the Northern.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have a little bit of a reprieve between these team fights here. Let's just take a breather and let's have a look at the current items and gold difference. I mean, the gold is so even, 2,000 difference right now. But the South team are going to be pushing down this mid lane. Probably will see a fight soon, but taking a look at the difference. Kayle on that Lich Bane, he's got the death cap, sorry, and he's got the Nash's Tooth as well. Against Ziggs' death cap, Lich Bane, and Athene's Grail. So actually very close in items now. Ziggs was so far ahead at the start, but Kayle's actually caught up. And like we were saying earlier, Kayle has that late game advantage, so he scales better than Ziggs. So I'll be interested to see how that starts to make a difference in these fights. And looking at Caitlyn and Sivir, very similar items. However, Caitlyn not having any armor pen, it's a massive deal considering Olaf has a frozen heart and Volibear has a Sunfire cape. Caitlyn's really going to struggle to deal with those frontline tanks.
All the lanes.
I think you keep cutting out, I'm afraid. Possibly to do with push to talk.
Maybe. I'm just saying that, you know, both the lanes are now pushing in South team's favour, and they've got the Baron buff. They can wait out on this tower, wait for this large wave to be pushed down on bot lane, and take that bot lane tower. And then I'm not quite sure. I mean, Baron's still a fair bit away because they've obviously still got the buff that comes with it. But we did just see a ping come down from South lane down to the bot lane, and now in the middle again. there's obviously probably some discussion in the team talk as to what they're going to do.
Yeah, and that Baron buff has now ended, so we may see an engage from the Northern team. Zach getting his elastic slingshot ready. It does go in, and he's going to use that ultimate straight away, disrupting the entire team. Gittrick getting really low. He is a lot of that team's damage. He's getting so low. Zach trying to chase that up. I don't know. Yeah, he is able to get that. Flashes out, and he trying to follow that up. Kale managing to 1v1 the Olaf in the back there. Volibear now getting really low as well. And his passive is pop, but the Ignite goes down. The Flash Flay by Thresh, really good. Kale picking up that double kill. Now Annie's getting 1v1 by Zach. Renekton picks up the kill on Sivir. This is looking really bad for the Southern team. And North gets an ace. They're turning the game on its head. The gold is now even. It's a 5-for-1, sorry. And now the Northern team is going to be pushing this middle inhibitor.
Yeah, that just was an awful team fight by South team at the moment. Ziggs just wasn't able to pump out as much damage as he would have liked to. All they've got going for them is that their minions might be able to take out this bot lane turret, but that's certainly not an equal trade.
And it looks like Northern team maybe just trying to end the game here. They have the damage. They've got 10 seconds before Ziggs and Olaf are up. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not. The AD carry isn't here, but they've taken one tower and they are going to back away from this one. Oh, I kind of wish they went for that. They did have a Kale. They possibly could have got it, but I guess the safest option is to back away. 1 minute 30 until this Baron is up. They're going to back away, regroup, get their health, buy some items with that extra gold they've just got, and head towards that Baron. And I don't know if South will be able to contest it with that inhibitor down.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to stop their side lanes being pushed now, the North team. Make sure their waves are pushing. They know their mid lane's going to be pushing with the super minions now. They can wait out for Baron for a minute, just, have a bit of a Baron dance. One of South team is going to have to go back and deal with those super minions at some point, and then deal with the way the lanes that are being pushed as well. Both of them are, so they might have to send 2 champions away, which means that North team are going to be able to get an uncontested Baron, I can imagine, in a minute and a half's time.
Yeah, definitely, and it's going to be a hard one to deal with for the South now, but the gold is so even. So this next team fight is so crucial. I mean, if the North win this team fight decisively, then they win the game, because
game over, yeah.
There's no way that they can't push down that one tower in the Nexus. However, the gold is so even, the items are so even, that the South could easily win this team fight as well. It's all going to be down to how well the engages go. But as we've seen in the last 5 or 6 team fights, this Zach Gelinator has just come into his own. I mean, his early game, let's be honest, he really didn't do very well at all. He did pretty badly. But he's come into his own now, and all of his engages in these team fights have been completely solid. I mean, that last team fight, he jumped in, elastic slingshot hit 3 people, then his ult managed to knock up everyone on the enemy team. So, just doing so much work for his team right now.
Yeah, it looks like now both teams are going to be heading towards the Baron. South team has got better vision at the moment, and they're just hanging around the back. We're going to have a bit of a dance here, I can imagine, for a while. But
the Baron dance begins. And
Zangra's going back. Then again, so's Hargo.
Yeah, interesting.
They both have cancelled their recalls.
Yeah, I think both teams kind of nervous to begin this fight. I mean, whoever wins this, if North wins this fight, it's game over. That's how important this fight is. So both teams are really sort of nervous about going into this fight. They don't want to make the wrong move, because if they do, they could throw the game.
They don't know that Zangra's going to be going back, so it's because both the side lanes are being pushed.
Oh, and
they've gone for
North are going to be starting this Baron. I'd be amazed. I'm surprised Renekton isn't using his ultimate to try and rush this Baron down, but I don't know. Ziggs does have vision, but the Zac able to smite that, and now we're going to see the team fight. Volibear does get grabbed by the death sentence. The box goes down, able to keep Caitlyn away from the Volibear, and now Olaf just getting out on so little health, and the ace in the hole going down onto the Annie as well. Kale picking that kill up, in fact, and it's really not looking good for the South right now. It is a 2-for-0 so far. The Baron buff is down on the Northern team, and they're heading towards the enemy Nexus. There's a ping going down on the bottom tower. However, I feel like they can just end the game if they go for it. But they're gonna.
Ziggs and Sivir have brilliant wave clear. I mean, so does with his axes, but
the Nexus is open right now. Just go for it. Just end the game. They are heading up there right now, and Renekton just trying to tank him as much as they can. If they just focus the Nexus, they can just end the game right here. Ziggs doing really well to do this much damage. The inhibitor's going to spawn any second, but it is going to be game over. And that is a second victory for the northern side. 2-0 to the north. I couldn't be happier. What an incredible game.
Because the Super 8 team is going to win for the south, so we'll end up going for a tiebreaker in the end anyway. But again, that was... You could see it was a really close game. I mean, fair play to the North. They managed to come back because they were at a huge disadvantage at the start. Mid lane was easily lost. Their bot lane easily lost. Only their top lane managed to hold on. And as we were saying, Jalelinator on, or however you want to say it.
Jalinator, I think.
Jalinator, whatever it is. I mean, honestly, his Zac was really ineffectual for first 20-25 minutes. And then he had that one team fight engaged, I think it was on bot lane around Dragon, and then you think, oh, actually no, he is quite effective now. He's coming to his own. He just hit that kind of peak. Well, he didn't peak there, but he started coming to his own, and then from there, I think that's where the South started to lose it. I don't think it's necessarily a throw to say. I think, I mean, you know, as I was saying, Kayle does become stronger a bit in late game. Caitlyn does become a bit stronger in late game. Bring that final team fight. Like you could see, Olaf was trying to get onto Caitlyn, but he wasn't sure whether he should maybe focus on something else. I think at some point he decided to like throw one auto attack at Thresh, and he could see he was in two minds. But Caitlyn was at full health throughout that entire fight, and you just can't let that happen at the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, and I feel one of the really crucial things that was happening in the team fights was Volibear, instead of trying to peel Ziggs and trying to peel Sivir, he was trying to go for Hargo. But he wasn't able to get to Hargo because he had a Thresh defending him, he had a Zac defending him, and obviously has the Caliber net anyway. And he was able to just sort of... And like, he didn't even have any armor pen. He was still building towards that last Whisper, but he was able to still kill the Volibear because of the defense he had from his team. And I feel like if the Southern team had tried to play more defensively in the team fights as well, if Volibear had maybe gone defensive rather than trying to dive, then they possibly could have done better in those team fights. However,
yeah, I mean, I think it's a real shame there, but it's certainly putting a lot more pressure on the Super 8 South team. Because I mean, it's going to be a bit of an embarrassment if they lose all three All-Star matches.
Yeah. So we do now have a couple of interviews for